Okay, to make your 1-point perspective picture, the first thing you're going to want to do is find a nice place to start your horizon line right across the paper. You can do it a little bit higher and have a short horizon line at the top where your clouds and your sun and stuff is going to go. You can do it a little bit lower. For this project, you might want to go a little bit higher. You don't want to go in the middle of the page, probably a little bit higher of the page. And all you're going to do is take your ruler and you're going to go draw a little straight line across your page for your horizon line. And notice how I just have like a little section up here on my paper. Is how high I put my horizon line. The next thing you're going to do is find your vanishing point. Probably about the middle of your paper, you're going to put a little dot right there. That's your vanishing point where everything is going to go back and fade into. And then you're going to end up making 2 lines on the bottom, starting from your vanishing point, going all the way down to the corner of your paper. So take your ruler, go ahead and line it up with the vanishing point so it's touching it and touching the corner of your paper. And you're going to draw a line down across like this. And then on this side, you're going to do the same thing. Start at that vanishing point, line your ruler up, and then draw your line all the way up. And then we're going to be using 2 lines right up here as well. What you're going to do, you're probably going to want to make these lines really light because we're going to end up erasing these later in the project because we won't need them. We just need them right now for some guides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my ruler, again with the vanishing point all the way to the corner of the paper. Kind of line it up, make sure I fixed it. I'm going to just draw a nice light little line going all the way up to my corner. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And I'm just doing it light because we're going to erase these, and sometimes if you draw dark, it's harder to erase them. Now this part right here is going to end up being our street, so you can go ahead and like add like rectangles down the middle of the road to kind of look like the little stripes. You can make them a little bit bigger as you get towards the end of the paper here, so it kind of looks like they get smaller as you go. To make your buildings, what you're going to do is you're going to make a rectangle right over here, just a regular rectangle in this area. You don't want it to touch the lines. You want it to be long enough so that you can put like a horizontal line here without touching the line down here on the street. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to draw a line across like this. Notice how it's not touching the line up there. I'm going to do the same thing here at the bottom. About the same size line. So let me line that up. I'm having some trouble. Now I went a little bit too far on that one. There we go. Then I'm going to go ahead and complete my rectangle. Let's see, I'm going to fix my ruler here. So I'm going to go straight down with my rectangle. I don't need this little extra line right here. And on this other side, I'm going to do the same thing. And then you can go ahead and erase this line right in the middle of your building, because you won't need that there. And now in order to make the building look like it's going back with the road, you're going to follow these little guidelines that we drew, the street and then this little guideline up in the air. And you're going to make a short line, however long you want your building to go. And it's going to follow those 2 lines. So it'll end up going in this direction like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler so I can make a nice straight line. And I'm going to line it up to my guideline right here. It's about the same, looks about even. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my line this way. And I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom, line it up with my street, draw my line. So it kind of looks like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and line up the other side nice and straight and draw my line down, a little extra right up here. And then you can go ahead and erase the middle line from this building, from this side of the building. And you now have a building that looks like it's on the street going back to the horizon line. I'm going to go ahead and make another building right next to it. I'm going to do the same thing. Obviously, this building's going to be a little bit smaller. So I'm going to start with my lines right here that don't touch my guidelines. And I'm going to complete my rectangle just like I did with the first building. So you're going to have a nice rectangle. Again, you can erase the line from right inside your building. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing. You're going to follow these lines like this along with your guidelines back into the distance. So following these two lines just like we did with the last building. So I'm going to take my ruler, line it up, and go ahead and draw my lines so that, notice how it's even right here. I'm going to go ahead and draw my straight line back and then complete my building on this side. Erase some of my extra little lines I've got going on here. So now I have two buildings. I can even make an even smaller building right back here. I've got some room. So I'm going to do the same thing. Draw my rectangle first. Erase my line. And then the same thing back. You're going to line up your ruler with your guidelines and draw a nice little line here. And this one lined up and going back this way. And we're going to complete our building on this side just like that. And it's kind of hard to erase this little line. So now I've got three buildings that look like I'm driving down the road and they're kind of going back into the distance. Oh, I guess I can finish my road here. I didn't quite finish that all the way. On the side here, we're going to be making a sidewalk. To do that, you're going to take your ruler and start at your vanishing point. So it needs to be touching that dot you drew. And then you're just going to kind of angle it down a little bit. We don't want the sidewalk too large. And notice how it's kind of larger on this side and smaller on that side. We're going to go ahead and draw our line like this to create our sidewalk. And then to put like the little cracks in the sidewalk, you're just going to do straight lines across here. If you want to use your ruler to make it look a lot smoother, you can go ahead and do that. But you're going to put your lines going back and notice how they kind of look like they're going back into the distance. On this side, I'm going to do like a little park. So I'm going to do a tree, a nice big tree right here first. So I'm going to go ahead and start down here and draw my tree up like this. Kind of put the little leaves going around it here. And then back here, I'm going to put another tree. It's obviously going to be smaller because it's as you go back into the distance, things get a little bit smaller. So I'm just going to go right down here and make a smaller tree on my picture. And then, now that kind of looks like it goes back. There's a lot of space right here, so I think I'm going to put like a little pond in this area that kind of goes behind the trees right here. So to do that, I'm just going to like start right at the tree and start kind of drawing around like this. And you can't see the whole pond. It kind of looks like it's behind the trees a little bit, but you can kind of make yours however you want over here. Right here, I'm going to be drawing the sun that goes down into the horizon line. So I'm going to do like a half circle that goes around like this. And then just don't go through your building right here. It's going to be behind your building. And then I'm going to add, let's see, I don't need to add anything there. I can go ahead and erase these lines. Remember the ones that we drew from the top corner to the vanishing point? You can go ahead and erase those now. We mostly just needed those for the buildings in order to get those at the right angle to make the picture look right. Then I'm going to add some sun rays up here. I'm going to make them rectangles because when we go to color this in, just a regular line is going to be hard to color. So I'm going to go ahead and do some rectangles. Now, I'm doing this a little bit fast for you guys. Usually I would probably use my ruler to make these rectangles for my son. Ray is going up. If you'd like to use your ruler for that to make it look a little bit nicer, you're more than welcome to. I kind of wish I would have used my ruler now looking at my lines, but I'm going to go ahead and complete these. So it looks like the sun nice and bright and shiny. And then I'm going to go ahead and add, I'd like to add some clouds in the sky on my picture. And then to finish our picture for the day, what you're going to do is you're going to add windows and stuff to your buildings, possibly some doors. To do that, the windows on this flat side are just going to be straight windows that go straight across because you're looking at them head on or direct, you're looking at them directly. So they're just going to be straight lines. And I'm just doing like 2 different lines, and then I'm going to go back and line it up and then complete my windows like this. I'm going to add some more windows down here. Probably going to have windows going all the way down the building. I'm going to line it up and go ahead and draw my windows. Should probably slow down a little bit. I can line these up a little bit better and make my picture look a little nicer that way. So I'm just going to kind of go through and add the windows all the way down the building. When you get down here, you can even add like a little potted plant or maybe a nice little tiny tree, like a sapling, I guess they call it, a baby tree. Just kind of add your own touch to the picture if you'd like, that's fine. Maybe even like a nice bush or some flowers going there on the side of the building. So you can kind of go all the way down with your windows. When you do the windows on the side facing the street, the ones that go back, what you're going to do to make the windows look like they're going back is you're going to start your ruler at the vanishing point, and you're going to line it up to where you want your first windows to start. And then right up here where you want your windows, you're going to go ahead and draw your lines this way. And then the bottom of your window, you should line up with that vanishing point again and draw your window, bottom of your windows. Then you're going to go back and line it up like this. And the windows are going to kind of look like they're going back. I probably should have put them a little bit higher so that they match these windows a little bit more, but that's okay. I'm going to go back and do the same thing to add some more windows. Start at my vanishing point, add my 2 lines, start at the vanishing point again, add more lines. I guess this side of the building is just going to have bigger windows. And then I'm going to line my ruler up straight and just draw a straight line down connecting the 2 lines I've already made. And again, see how the windows kind of look like they are going back into the distance along with my picture. I could add a door down here on my building, but I'd do the same thing. I'd start at the vanishing point and figure out where I want my door and draw a line for the top, and then start at the vanishing point and go ahead and draw my line at the bottom, and then a straight line to connect the 2. And this is going to be like a double door, so I'm just going to draw a straight line down the middle. You can put like little doorknobs or something on there, that's fine. And then I'm going to do the same thing with these buildings. I'm going to design some windows on this side, and then on the side facing the street again, I'm going to use that vanishing point to create my windows so that they look like they're going backwards. And I'm going to finish my last building, and then I can kind of look around my picture, see if there's anything else I'd like to add, like maybe a plant or something here. I could even put like a small tree or some bushes in here. Just add whatever you think you'd like to add to your picture. And when you're done, it should look like this, like you're just driving down the road off into the sunset. We will start coloring these next week with colored pencils. So go ahead and make sure your name is on it, and you can go ahead and turn it in.